The Nuggets are down 9 in overtime. They're missing 3 starters. Anthony Edwards just hit a ridiculous game-tying 3 with 1.1 seconds left, and Minnesota has all the momentum.
To get it in bounds. Gets it in, turning a 3 for the tie. Good! Anthony Edwards with 1.1 second to go in regulation.
What happens next is one of the greatest overtime performances in NBA history. Nikola Jokic scores 18 points in 5 minutes, an NBA record. He goes 22 of 23 from the line, and he finishes with a stat line that no player has ever recorded. 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists. This game was a statement, a masterclass in everything that makes Nikola Jokic the most unique player we've ever seen. Let's break down exactly how he did it. To really appreciate what Jokic pulled off, you need to understand the context going into this game. The Nuggets were missing 3 starters, Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, and Cam Johnson. They're going up against a Timberwolves team that's won 10 of their last 12 games after a slow start and finally looks like the squad that made the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years. But here's the thing that makes it even more fascinating. Just 8 months ago, on April 1st, Jokic dropped 61 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists against this same Timberwolves team, the most ever scored in a triple-double in NBA history, and they still lost in double overtime, 140 to 139. After that game, Michael Malone revealed that Jokic came up to him after the third quarter and said, "Coach, I'm good, leave me in there. I don't want to come out, let me just keep playing." The man played 53 minutes and refused to leave the court. He gave them everything he had. One of the greatest individual performances in league history, and it still wasn't enough.
Underneath, Brown to Jokic, and foul, count it! The lead is 10.
So when Christmas Day rolled around, Jokic had unfinished business. I'm sure he remembered that loss, carrying his team to the absolute limit and coming up short anyway. And he was about to make sure there would be no repeat of that heartbreaker. The rivalry context matters because this wasn't Jokic casually putting up stats against some lottery team. This was targeted dominance against the team that had given him the most problems over the last couple of seasons. For 3 quarters, Denver looked like they had this thing locked up. They'd built a 14-point lead heading into the 4th, and the game felt under control. Jokic was cooking, Jamal Murray was finding his rhythm, and it looked like the Nuggets were about to get their revenge in comfortable fashion. Then, Anthony Edwards happened. Look, Edwards had been talking all week about how big he was going to play on Christmas. He wanted this spotlight. He wanted to prove he belongs in that conversation with the league's best players, and in the 4th quarter, he absolutely backed it up. 15 of his 44 points came in that final frame. He was hitting contested jumpers, getting to the rim, making plays that had no business going in. The Timberwolves completely erased that 14-point deficit, and suddenly, Denver was in a dogfight. But the shot that sent this game into overtime, that was something else entirely. With just 3.6 seconds left on the clock, Timberwolves down 3. Edwards catches the inbound, turns, fades away with Murray all over him, and somehow hits the corner 3 to tie the game. You could feel the momentum completely shift. Minnesota had all the juice heading into overtime, and Denver, already short-handed, already exhausted, looked like they were about to let another one slip away. Edwards finished with 44 points on 56% shooting. Okay, I'm going to stop you here for a second. If you're still using those regular sportsbook apps, you're getting robbed. I'm serious. Delete it. Delete it now. Because Polymarket have made all of those apps obsolete, and I need to show you why. Okay, let me pull this up. So right now, Polymarket has Houston sitting at 36% to win tonight. And that feels low to me because Houston is bound to make a run and either tie it up or take the lead at some point. So I'm taking that trade right now and done. And here's what makes this completely different from sportsbooks. Sportsbooks take like $9 off every 100 you win. That's their cut just for existing. Polymarket, 1 cent. Because you're trading against other people, not some platform that profits when you lose. And the cash out thing? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Your team goes up 10, you try to lock in your position and they block you. They'll block you dozens of times a game. And if they let you out, they penalise you like 50%. They're holding your money hostage. Polymarket is instant. Momentum swings, you react. Houston goes on a run and jumps from 36% to 46%. You cash out right there. No asking permission, no penalty. You're in control. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states, and they're so confident that you won't go back to sportsbooks that they're giving you $10 free just to try it. No card, no deposit, nothing. Use my code HOOPS10 and follow the link in the description below for exclusive early access and $10 waiting just for you. Stop letting the sportsbooks take your money. The duel between him and Jokic was becoming an instant classic. One of those Christmas Day matchups people would talk about for years. But here's where the story takes a turn. Because as great as Edwards was, he was about to watch Jokic do something unprecedented. Edwards' shot was incredible. Legitimately one of the best clutch shots you'll ever see. But it also set the stage for Jokic to do something that had never been done before. Sometimes the greatest performances need a worthy adversary. And Edwards gave Jokic exactly that. He pushed him to a level we've never seen from any player in NBA history. Minnesota came out firing in overtime. They jumped out to a 9-point lead with 3 minutes remaining. The crowd at Ball Arena was stunned. It felt like the Timberwolves were about to steal this thing on Denver's home floor on Christmas. All that context we talked about earlier, the 61-point loss, it was all about to repeat itself in the most painful way possible. And then Jokic said no. What he did in those final 3 minutes might be the single greatest overtime performance in NBA history. 18 points, a new NBA record, surpassing Steph Curry's previous mark of 17, and he did it with an efficiency that shouldn't be possible in a game this intense. He scored at the rim, he hit threes when they backed off, he got to the free throw line and went 22 of 23 for the game. 95% from the stripe when every single free throw felt like life or death. But two moments in particular sealed this game. First, with under a minute left, the game tied at 126 apiece. Denver challenged a foul call on Jokic. The refs reviewed it and overturned the call, and instead called Rudy Gobert for his 6th foul. Gobert was done for the night, and Jokic went to the line and put the Nuggets back in the lead. Second, Anthony Edwards completely lost his composure after hitting a two-hand dunk to put Minnesota within 2 points. 2 quick tech fouls, one for knocking the ball from Jokic's hand when he was trying to inbound, then again for arguing with officials. And suddenly, Minnesota's best player was watching from the locker room with the game still in the balance. All that momentum from his incredible fourth quarter gone in an instant because he couldn't keep his emotions in check. The Timberwolves had no answer. Final score, 142 to 138, Denver. The two teams combined for 50 points in that overtime period, the most in any single overtime in NBA history. And Jokic was responsible for 18 of Denver's 27. When Jokic needed to be superhuman, he delivered the greatest overtime performance ever recorded. The man was 15 of 21 from the field for the game, 4 of 6 from 3, and 22 of 23 from the line. Those are video game numbers. Those are numbers that shouldn't be possible for a 7-foot center in a game with these stakes. And we need to talk about Jamal Murray for a second as well, because Jokic didn't do this alone. Murray had one of those nights where his mid-range jumpers weren't falling, but he lit it up from deep when it mattered. 35 points, 10 assists, and a Christmas Day record 9 threes. The Jokic-Murray two-man game was on full display during overtime. Now, let's put some real perspective on what a 56-16-15 game actually means. Jokic became the first player ever to record a 55-15-15 game in 78 years of NBA basketball, across thousands of players and thousands of games. Nobody had ever done it. Not during Wilt's 50-point average season, not during Oscar Robertson's triple-double years, never. His 56 points are the third highest total ever on Christmas Day, behind only Bernard King's 60 in 1984 and Wilt Chamberlain's 59 in 1961. We're talking about a performance that sits alongside games from 40 and 60 years ago. That's the kind of history Jokic just made. And with this game, Jokic now has 2 career 50-point triple-doubles. Only 4 other players in history have multiple 50-point triple-doubles. James Harden with 5, Russell Westbrook with 3, Wilt Chamberlain with 2, and Elgin Baylor with 2. But what separates Jokic from everyone on that list is how he gets his numbers. Harden and Westbrook were usage monsters who dominated the ball for entire possessions. Wilt and Baylor were physical freaks who could overpower anyone on the court through sheer athleticism. Jokic, he's a 7-foot point guard who sees the game 3 passes ahead of everyone else. He makes his teammates better while simultaneously being the most efficient, high-volume scorer in the league. His 71% shooting in this game wasn't a fluke or an accident. It's what happens when you're making the perfect read on every single possession and you have the skill to execute whatever the defense gives you. This Christmas Day performance was the latest chapter in what's becoming one of the most remarkable careers in basketball history. Jokic is redefining what a center can be, what a superstar can look like, and what's possible when you combine genius-level basketball IQ with elite skill at every level. And the scary part, he's still in his prime, he's still getting better, and he's still got something to prove in the playoffs. Was this Jokic's greatest ever performance? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. And check out one of these videos on your screen now.